So good.
This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined with Chev Clarke, the mandatory challenger for the British Cruiserweight title. Something that's very, very topical, especially on today. But other than that, before we do get all into it, how are things, mate? How are you dealing with, I suppose, being out of camp?
What's out of camp?
Well, like, you ain't got a fight day, have you? So, you know.
But I don't know what out of camp is, isn't it?
Like, you're not training for a specific date. That's like you're not in a fight camp, are you?
Okay, how can I? That's like saying, what's it like not being? I suppose you can be not by the camera. But anyway, my point is, I'm an elite athlete, innit? Yeah. You're never not in camp.
I was gonna say, training all year round, then, yeah. Yeah,
man. This is what we signed up for until we sign off, innit? So you know where to find me.
On that point though, do you feel like there is benefits because you said you're an elite athlete and they're always training, but there isn't people like that. So do you feel like maybe it's the extra 1% that you're always going to be training when other people aren't as well?
I mean, I'm just sticking to the basics, innit? I came from an elite environment, so I'm carrying that on, and I picked up great habits. I learned some great things, and. If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you look at Mayweather, them guys were always practicing their craft. So if you want to be great, you gotta pick up from the best and take the best from the best and leave the bad habits in it.
Absolutely, for sure. Let's just jump straight into it. The news that came out this morning. Obviously, you are mandatory for the British Cruiserweight title. I think won the Eliminator about 10 months ago, fighting David Jamieson and beating him. Obviously, the news came out this morning about an hour till purse bids were meant to be called. Isaac Chamberlain vacating his British title. We know obviously you were the mandatory there. Sort of your initial thoughts when you found out. Well, so talk me through. You found out when Isaac was vacating the belt.
I found out when you guys found out. Like, what can I do? Do you know what I mean? Listen, I don't care who I fight. Isaac is not the target. Winning the British is the target. And to be fair, I wouldn't want to fight me either. So, it is what it is. But as I said, Isaac is not the target. The target is the British belt. And that's still on course to be taken.
Was there some frustrations though, because you have waited a long time for this, and I suppose a lot of the hold-up has been potentially from a Hennessy side, from a Chamberlain side. So what are the feelings? Is it a feeling of frustration?
Listen, you can't stop what's coming to me, so it is what it is, isn't it? I don't get caught up in the emotional side. You just got to stay professional, stay prepared, and it's just whoever wants it next, isn't it?
Was there any surprises for you that this ended up happening, that the belt ended up becoming vacant?
I mean, I don't know. I never really thought about it like that. But I mean, as a champion, you would want to defend your belt. I suppose that would be the normal thing. But listen, he's waited a long time to get that belt, and he got his hand on it now. He got his hand on it, and I don't know. That's his situation, and I can't comment on that. But what I can say is that I'll be fighting for the British at some point soon. So keep locked in.
And obviously the reason that he did vacate was to pursue the European title against Michał Cieślak. Obviously not sure if Cieślak's going to keep the belt or not. Do you believe that is a step in competition for Isaac Chamberlain? Is that a step up from fighting yourself?
It doesn't matter. I don't know about that. Again, that's Isaac's career. I think Vidal said the other day, I quote it, he said, he got left in the class just before us, innit?
Yeah. Said that in my interview.
This is our class. So, somebody need to kick him out of school kind of thing. So, that's his career, man. I have no qualms.
It being a straight question, a yes or no, do you believe that Isaac Chamberlain ducked you?
I don't know.
If you say yeah, like if you was to have a hunt, if you had sort of give an answer, yeah, like yes or no, because putting you on the spot really.
Did he duck me, Isaac? Did you duck me? I don't know. I can't speak for him. I suppose you would say so because, you know, he's the champion and he's like left it to go and pursue something else. So I suppose initially you would say so.
Obviously, this is a main talking point, but one of the tweets that Isaac done was to Eddie Hearn after it. He said, "Cry more, I'm going for bigger things. We ain't dancing to your tune, you silver spoon baby." Suppose, what did you make of that sort of conversation between your promoter and Isaac?
It's funny because I read another tweet before that he said, you know, I'm okay to work with Matchroom, which meant that, you know what, I'm okay to come and have the fight on your platform. But this now tweet that you're talking about is a complete reverse. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know you're saying there, you know, you aren't too bothered on the situation, but do you think that there was any influence about, I don't know, he's a promotional free agent, as you said, but do you think that there was influence from Sky and Boxer, with obviously yourself being a Matchroom fighter? We know Hearn is always banging on about them pulling out purse bids. It's saying, he done a tweet saying it was 5 in a row. So do you think that there was an influence from Sky and Boxer?
If there was, it wasn't a good influence because, let's face it, I came to their show the other day and I made their show, really. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Fraser and Fabio. You know, until that man came in, Chev made the show in it. So, say no more.
Is there anyone ideally that you would like to fight for the British title? I mean, obviously Vidal Riley's there. I think there's another couple guys like Jordan Thompson, Ellis Zorro. Is there anyone ideally that you know you think would be a good fight for the British title?
We take all comers.
That's I suppose no, there isn't really much more to say after that. Especially for yourself now. You don't want to keep your career waiting around. So ideally, you had a fight in January. When do you want this situation to be resolved, would you say?
Let's be real here. Chev's had 8 fights, okay? People keep saying waiting around and talking all of that. I've had 8 fights and I've fought better opposition than most of these guys. So I don't know about all this waiting around talk, do you know what I mean? I'm just moving at my speed. I ain't comparing myself to nobody. You see what I'm doing. I let the actions do the talking, innit? Talk's cheap. Free Wi-Fi.
But have you feel like your time's been wasted though, waiting around for Chamberlain for nothing to end up happening?
I haven't been waiting for him. I haven't waited. What was I? I had my fight.
The situation because you can't fight unless Chamberlain wants to fight.
I suppose he could have just said, "Yo, listen, you know what? We're going for the European earlier and just saved everybody." You know what I mean? His fans, my fans, the whole boxing scene would have just been like, "Okay, we can go and fight somebody else now." But to like do it flipping 1 hour before the whole time is just a joke thing, innit? But again, I don't care about Chamberlain, let's say. All I want to do is fight for the British belt, innit? And I'm going to do that.
Well, I was going to say now I suppose the situation is almost more or less resolved. Good to sort of go on another turn and I suppose fight for the British title in your next fight. Do you want me to hold it or?
You can hold it, bro. You know what I mean? I can spit bars out here. I can spit bars. You know what I mean? I can drop a cover freestyle on that. But now you can hold it.
Yeah, I was going to say, so good to finally sort of have the situation resolved, and you know sort of have a clear picture that the British title is next to whoever it is.
Yeah, I already knew that because you know what, my promoter is solid like that. Shout out to Eddie and man like Frank, big Matchroom and that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, it's good to finally like this is what we're gonna do now. No ifing and butting, and you know what I mean. We have a solid thing now, so the summer looks beautiful.
Just before we do close this off, obviously a big Cruiserweight world title fight happening in the UK on June 15th. Selhurst Park is the location. Chris Billam-Smith takes on Richard Riakpohre in a rematch from the first one. Obviously Riakpohre winning the first one in a close fight. As a fellow Cruiserweight yourself, I know you probably eye either potentially the winner of that. We know the history that you yourself and Chris have got. But what do you make of that fight?
It will actually be a good fight. It should generate a massive crowd as well. With the fact that Chris has beaten Lawrence and Riakpohre's got more experience, it should make a good fight. You have the power of Riakpohre and the boxing IQ of Billam-Smith. So, hey, I don't know, man. It can go either way. You know what I mean? Like, you would have thought that Lawrence would have beaten Chris, right?
Yeah.
it's boxing, bro. Cruiserweight boxing. So one punch is all it takes.
For sure. Just as we do finish this off, I do appreciate the time on short notice, especially considering all the news this morning. Got a final message to either the fans or anyone else in the Cruiserweight division who could be stacking up against you in the British title?
As I said, I take all comers. I ain't no ifing and butting, I ain't ducking, you know what I mean? I'm in this boxing game and I came from trucking, you know what I'm saying? But no, listen, we've got a British fight in the summer. Make sure you're there. And if it ain't come from Lewis, we don't trust you.
Appreciate it, man. Chev, thank you for the time, mate. Appreciate it.